known as the #1 pop icon throughout your entire career? Or how about having a net worth of $434 million according to Billboard? Having everything and more that most people only dream of on a day-to-day basis. We should all be interested in making this world a better place, just as Michael did throughout his lifetime. We need peace in this world. We need unity in this world. And to make this happen, we all need to help. I became credible to speak about Michael Joseph Jackson constructing the vigorous amounts of research to gather information stemming from his abusive childhood to just an early demise at 50 years old. Today I'm going to be talking about the early years of Michael Jackson, full of fame and heartache, how Michael Jackson became known as the King of Pop, and how he has impacted the world throughout his career and his various humanitarian accomplishments. First, let's take a look into Michael Jackson's childhood and upbringing. It's definitely not one to remember. Michael Joseph Jackson was born August 29, 1958, in the small town of Gary, Indiana, to parents Catherine and Joseph Jackson. He was actually the 8th of 10 children, whom one had passed away as a newborn. At just 6 years old, Michael made a debut with his older brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and this officially became the Jackson 5, formed in 1964. The Jackson 5 was managed by their father, Joseph Jackson. They were one of the first African-American groups to attain a crossover. According to Wikipedia, they scored 16 top 40 songs listed on the Hot 100. Some of the songs included Dancing Machine, Can You Feel It, Enjoy Yourself, Blame It on the Boogie, Shake Your Body, The Love You Save, Never Can Say Goodbye, I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There. Michael Jackson had a childhood full of fame and heartache, with physical and mental abuse and neglect, a lonely childhood, and the smile on his face was fake. All this fame and fortune came with a price tag. The price tag was so large it impacted Michael the most. Michael was physically and mentally abused by his father and manager, Joseph Jackson. According to WRTC 103, a quote, "You have fame and fortune and all anyone could ever really ask for except for a childhood. Your childhood was full of neglect and abuse. No time for friends. Your best friends were your older brothers. Instead of playing outside with other kids, you were stuck inside the studio recording or practicing for an upcoming show. How intimidating is it since your father is only standing 10 foot away with a belt in his hand? You better not mess anything up or that belt's going to strike you. Such a shame that you have to live a childhood like this. I couldn't imagine being in Michael's shoes." Michael was known to vomit or pass out whenever Joseph was near. Joseph refused to comfort his children, no love, hugs, or kisses. They couldn't even call him dad or daddy like any other normal child. He was literally referred to as Joseph. Now that we have a little bit of background information, let's discuss how Michael Jackson became known as the King of Pop. In 1970, Michael Jackson became the solo artist after branching off from the Jackson 5. In 1991, Michael decided he wanted a nickname for himself. There were several reasons why Michael Jackson would be entitled to a nickname of this sort, according to the blog list. In 1970, he had four number one hits. In 1982, Thriller was released. 1983, the signature dance move, the moonwalk, was created. 1984, he was awarded 8 Grammy Awards. He had 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one for the Jackson 5 and one for being a solo artist. 1998, he was awarded the Grammy Solo Award Performance. 1993, he was awarded the Grammy Legend Award. 1997, the Jackson 5 entered the Hall of Fame, and again in 2001, he entered the Hall of Fame as a solo artist. But that's not the case. Michael Jackson actually came up with the nickname himself, according to Propucha. In 1991, legitimately announced himself as the King of Pop. How awesome is it creating a name for yourself and it's sticking with you throughout your entire career? And he will always be known as the King of Pop. Lastly, let's finish Let's finish up by looking at how Michael Jackson is remembered today, not only by his music or fancy dance moves, but throughout his humanitarian accomplishments. The definition of humanitarian: a person who seeks to promote human welfare. Michael Jackson was always helping and donating. He was very generous in supporting making this world a better place, always giving the children what they deserve, since his childhood was not like it was supposed to be. According to Charities Humanitarian, Michael Jackson was listed in the 2000 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records for breaking the world record for most charities supported by a pop artist. Michael Jackson has supported 39 charity organizations, either with monetary donations, throughout his sponsorships of their projects, or by participating in their silent auctions. Jackson donated millions of proceeds to charities over his career, impacting many, many people. He even founded the Heal the World Foundation to fight illness and poverty among children around the world. According to Daunt, it states Michael Jackson's estate is expected to generate hundreds of millions of dollars for the years to come. If the will currently on file is sustained, it appears that at least 20% of the income generated will go directly to charities. Now that we have talked about these important aspects of Michael Jackson's lifetime, let's wrap things up. Between the fame and the heartache in the adolescent years, becoming and knowing as the legendary King of Pop, and the dedication, time, donations, and proceeds that Michael Jackson was truly the best example of a true humanitarian. He really wanted to heal the world and make it a better place for all. I can only believe that he wanted to do this for all the sufferings he had to endure in his own childhood. I will leave you with a quote from the man himself that I hope you remember. Quote, "In a world filled with hate, we must still dare to hope. In a world filled with anger, we must still dare to comfort. In a world filled with despair, we must still dare to dream. And in a world filled with distrust, we must still dare to believe." Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson, the King of Pop, 1958 through 2009.